So this is the fun part of the evening. This is your opportunity to stand up and say what you want to say as you, I never say leave Fort Wayne Community Schools, because one of the things, I need to make my commercial now. Mr. Kamak is here. Raise your hand, Mr. Kamak. Those of you who are retiring, we have applications for people to come back and sub. Now, legally, I can't get you a job while you're leaving, but I'm just saying, those of you that have extra time on your hands in between grandbabies and all the other things you're going to be doing, we need subs. And I always say that to this group because this is a group made up of folks who care deeply not only about their profession, but first of all about the kids they work with and the staff members they work with. So those are the kind of people we hate to lose you. And while Ms. Duff talked about the fact that, yes, we want you to be happy in your retirement, just remember Mr. Kamak has applications if you want to come back to sub. Okay. So, everybody clear about what we're getting ready to do? All right. When I say your name, you start toward me. I'm going to read something. Remember, I didn't write it. Okay? Then you get to talk about a memorable event and what you would miss. Now, if you want to say what you won't miss, I really don't care. I mean, it's up to you. You're retiring. You can say what you want to. But just remember, Tim is recording this opportunity. Okay? Everybody ready? Keep eating. Lydia Beer. You would be first, wouldn't you? We had dinner together. Shambaugh special ed teacher, 21 years of service. I like that. Clap for people. Lydia has been a voice for her children with special needs. She told us several stories this evening. She's been a true advocate for each student and has worked tirelessly to get each student what he or she needs. Ensure that they're accepted and valued in the school community. As a teacher of students with autism, Lydia made it her mission to educate all students and adults in the building about autism. Her positive energy and quiet spirit will be remembered at Shambaugh. She radiates happiness wherever she goes, and creates a climate of positivity. Even in the midst of a large challenge, Lydia keeps her composure and makes those around her feel valued, accepted, and appreciated.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, everybody. I've just truly enjoyed my time at Shambaugh. I was home for 15 years raising my children, and Kathy Carr gave me the chance to come back and work for her, and I've had many memorable moments. When you work with kids with autism that are nonverbal, you have many memorable moments, especially when they can learn to communicate their wants and needs. So I'll remember all those times, and thank you.
Deborah Byer. Is Deborah with us? Instructional assistant, Holland Elementary School. Come on up, Deborah. 17 years of service. Deb will be remembered for her outstanding teamwork with her teacher colleague, Deb Kraus. They had a long-standing working relationship and formed a great team for Holland kindergarten students. The strong foundation she helped students build paid off as they blossomed into outstanding students. Deb always had a kind smile for everyone and was always willing to help and support all of Holland's kids and teachers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I don't have any special moments. There are so many, many good memories, and I will miss the children. So many children and so much growth. It's amazing.
Thank you. Celeste Burns, teacher, Anthus Career Center at Anthus, Career Academy at Anthus, 17 years of service. Come on up, Celeste. Celeste has been a champion for her students and the health service department. She has given countless hours of service to her students and colleagues through her work with the St. Mary's Soup Kitchen Service Project, Riley Fundraiser, Red Cross Blood Drive, and lead sponsor of the student organization Health Occupation Students of America. She has encouraged, inspired, and prepared students to enter the health science fields, and many are working in our community today. Celeste will be missed for her professionalism, passion for the career field, and support of the department mission. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, before I became a teacher at the Career Academy, I was also a respiratory therapist and worked in the medical and health care fields also. And then I came into education. Both were hard jobs, but teaching is by far the hardest job. I mean, you work hard, and your whole goal, though, is that you're always trying to make things better for your students, and you're always trying to make a success, them make a success. And so it's just, I'm in awe of the teachers out there and the work they do. And it's been a hard job, but it's probably been one of the best things I've done my entire life. And so and I really appreciate Larry Gerardo. I mean, at the Anthus Career Center, and I still like calling it Anthus because that's my heart's at, for the Anthus Career Center. You're like family there. They take care of you. And even some days when you got really, really sick and they take you home because you can't drive because you're so sick, they take care of you all the time. And so I couldn't work for a better organization or under a better principal, and so I thank Larry Gerardo for that. And so that's where my heart is, but I just want to say thank you, everybody, for all the hard work you do. Yay!
Thank you, Celeste. You don't think she's happy, do you? Karen Clendenning, special ed teacher, Wayne High School, 23 years of service. Karen arrived at Wayne High School 4 years ago to lead a struggling special education department. She has built a department that now collaborates, challenges students, and in particular with the moderate disability program, teaches our students through project-based learning. She has helped transform Wayne into a school that offers access and opportunity for all. She has shown passion for her profession and love for her students. She leaves Wayne having instilled that same passion and love for students in her principal and the staff. Congratulations. Great job. Yeah, thank you.
Well, I didn't know what was going to be said, but 41 years ago, I began my teaching career by taking the place of an old lady who was retiring. And in that classroom were ironing boards and dishes and that sewing machines, and those were the skills that she was teaching the students with disabilities. And I was the young whippersnapper that came in and said, it was kind of nice because I took all that stuff to my apartment that I didn't have, brought out the books and taught them to read and write, and they moved on successfully. And now 41 years later, I'm the old lady retiring and the young whippersnappers coming in and doing all that stuff with those computers. God bless all of you.
Now, wait, let's get something straight. We don't use the old word in here. We are mature. We are seasoned. We are not old. Karen. Rose Christ, Secretary of Continuing Ed, 27 years of service. Rose was the mother figure for the Continuing Ed program. I didn't write that. I know. Always there to talk through a situation or just listen to someone, be the students, staff members, or parents who had an unfortunate situation or life event. She cared deeply about the students she served and the staff she worked with. She was always the voice of reason and common sense. That's in short supply nowadays. Thank you so much. And had a remarkable ability to sense how things were going with everyone and what she needed to do or say to make your day brighter. Congratulations. Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, 27 years. It's been a great job. Lots and lots of friends, working with students, the students that we work with to get their GED, HSE now. Just seeing how people grow. You know, people come in, our students come in kind of broken, and our department builds them up and helps them to obtain their HSE or whatever they're trying to obtain. The family of coworkers has been great. Worked in middle school there for 5 years and came down to Ampus to move on, and it's been great, absolutely great. Thank you.
Thank you. Nancy Kraus. Lakeside Middle School, 38 years of service. Where were we, Target?
Yeah,
We have-
no,
yes.
Steinmart.
Steinmart. Okay, Steinmart. We had our last conversation at Steinmart. She was assisting me in trying to find something to wear to a cocktail party. I don't do cocktail parties, and she was giving me her best effort. I didn't find anything, but thank
I
you,
know.
darling. 38 years of service. Nancy has worked tirelessly to advocate for both teachers and students. She served on the FWEA leadership team for 20 years as vice president, negotiation liaison, bargaining team member, delegate to ISTA NEA conventions, and building rep. We spent a lot of nights
We
together, didn't
did,
we?
yes, we did.
As an advocate for children, she served as a member of the National Reading Council and the Council of Exceptional Children. She was a mentor to numerous student teachers and has been a natural go-to person when teachers have questions or frustrations or just need help thinking things through. Her giving spirit and kind heart will be missed at Lakeside. And Charles already signed her up for the subbing thing when we were in Steinmart.
Thanks, Wendy. Well, I have two funny stories. We had a python by the name of Ruby. And of course, Ruby liked to eat mice. And so that helped our community of mice grow at Lakeside. And I had my closet door ajar. And we had a young lady that sat in the first row, and she had bell-bottom pants on. And I'll be darned if that mouse didn't come out of the closet and run up her leg. And I never saw a kid jump on a desk so fast in my life. And the second story, you know, Lakeside was affected by the flood. And we had two young colleagues that loved to fish. And so they brought their fishing boat out to our parking lot, and therefore they fished the entire day. And we also had a visit by President Reagan that time also. I have to say that being at the lake, we call Lakeside the lake, and I have to say that it has my heart. And my colleagues have helped support me through the good and the bad, and I have to hand my heart to Mr. Jones. He's watched me struggle the last couple of years with technology. This mature lady doesn't catch on real fast, but he didn't kick me out for being a slow learner. So with that, I thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Patricia Derrick, Special Ed Assistant, Portage Middle School, 15 years of service. Pat spent 15 years at Portage Middle School as a Special Ed Assistant. She has a heart for children and always had a calm and even demeanor when working with her kids. She will be remembered for her love of kids and of Portage. She always had a heart for working with kids to help them achieve to the best of their ability. She always had a smile for anyone she interacted with at Portage, whether staff member or student. Thank you. so much. Here, I'll leave that here. You get to talk. I'll hold that.
I had good times and I had bad times. And one time, they was passing the ball around. The assistants got a week of being, the best assistant of the week. And the assistants never picked me, but a child picked me. And I'm so thankful that I did something that impressed that child. And so I thank you.
That's what it's all about. Thank you. Rosalie Hernley, Secretary, New Tech Academy at Wayne, 28 years. You were there when I was, weren't you there when my home was there? Yeah, you've been at New Tech for 8 years, and her greatest contribution has been her spirit. She has become the welcoming face and soul of the school. Students describe her as helpful, caring, and kind, and seek her out for wisdom, advice, and a friendly face. She supports the New Tech program with all her heart and has watched it grow from 78 students to 400. She will be remembered for her rattling keychains, that's not fair, as she scurried around the building, her drawer full of crackers for students, her smile and greeting, and the passion in which she supported every single student. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm going to weep here just a minute. Okay. My most memorable moment was the day I walked into New Tech, and it was just Liz Bryan and I. And I have watched 8 years of students growing up, and it has been wonderful. My other moment, I need to repeat this, is that one day a young woman came in to the office, and she was to pick up her student there. And she goes, "Mrs. Hernley, I recognize you from Southside. Oh my gosh." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're old enough to have a student here." And so that's kind of how it goes, We just kind of grow with the kids, and there they are. Thank you very much. And I just want to thank everybody. Fort Wayne Community Schools is a great place to work, and I've had some great experiences, and I have loved a lot of kids, and I'm going to continue to love kids because I'm going to volunteer and go back into the schools some afterwards, because we can never give enough to our new generation. Thank you.
Thank you. I need some kind of bonus for everybody I sign up for subbing, don't you feel? Carolyn Hilson, School Assistant, Frankie Park Elementary, 14 years of service. Carolyn embodies Frankie Park's moral purpose. She cares about every student's success and builds meaningful relationships with students. Through her encouragement and excitement, students are motivated to do their best when working with her. She will be remembered for the love she gave Frankie Park students. Everyone who interacts with her is greeted with a smile and fun-loving personality. She always gives 110% and will be missed at Frankie Park. There you go. Thank you so much.
Well, I started off at Fairfield. Thanks to my daughter, she's like, "I need a 2-hour assistant." And I said, "Oh, I want to work more than 2 hours." And she said, "Get your foot in the door." Well, I was a 2-hour assistant one day. I was at Fairfield for 7 years, and been at Frankie Park now for 7 years, and it's been great. But it's time to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris is not here. Deborah Gonzalez, World Languages teacher, Northside, 28 years of service. Deborah has been at Northside for 28 of her 40 years in education. You survived the renovation. Yes. Her greatest contribution has been the growth of the French program and the success of the many students she has taught. She cultivated the French program by enriching the experiences of her students, and she stimulated the IU Honors Program with a number of her students qualifying to study in France. Beyond the classroom, Deborah has been an advocate for her colleagues by giving generously of her time to serve on FWA and availing herself to help represent all teachers. Deborah's tenure at Northside will be remembered for her tireless devotion to the challenge of being the best teacher she can be. She inspired and influenced a multitude of students and has a friend and was a friend to her department colleagues and a trusted keeper of confidences. Thank you so much, Deborah.
Thank you. I was always proud to work at Fort Wayne Community Schools, so thank you.
We're proud to have you.
Many great memories, especially of my Northside family. It was just a unique place to work, and many of you in the room, I see you would share my thoughts there. Probably, and of course the kids, great memories for them, but probably my greatest memory is meeting my husband, Lynn. We used to share a classroom, and look what happened, so.
We don't do matchmaking. That's not a part of what we do here. So don't get any ideas, people. Okay. Annette Liu, teacher, Northrop High School, 26 years of service. Annette is an award-winning photographer, jewelry maker, and fine artist who will be remembered for the dedication, drive, and talents she brought to the classroom. She spent endless nights preparing entries for the local and national scholastic art competition and helped students develop portfolios for college, demanding originality, creativity, and craftsmanship, no matter their ability level. Today, countless former students are professional artists, professors of art, photographers, jewelers, and fine craft artisans. In retirement, Annette plans to continue her arts and crafts, selling her fine jewelry and handmade dolls and Santas. Annette Liu.
Thank you. Well, I think I have a lot of memorable moments at Northrop. Before I taught at Northrop, I taught at Wayne for 2 years. And before that, I started out teaching at Village Woods Middle School. So it's actually been 28 years I've been teaching. The staff at Northrop, I miss a lot. Many of those students that I helped with portfolios and getting work ready for college portfolio reviews, for many of them, it allowed them to go to college when they normally wouldn't be able to. One of the most memorable moments probably was going to Washington, D.C. last September and being recognized by the National Board of Education, along with one of my students and several other students and teachers from the area for national award-winning artwork in scholastics. Things I'm going to miss: I miss teaching metalsmithing. I miss the staff. I miss joking with Fred Blanks every morning. Every Wednesday he would say, "What day is it?" And I'd say, "Hump day." And I also miss exchanging paranormal activity stories with Fred from my photography class. Lots of strange things kind of happened in that classroom. Things moved when they shouldn't, noises, voices when there was nobody else around. So Fred and I had an experience in there, so you'll have to ask him about that, Jason. That was pretty funny. Thank you.
As we renovate Northrop, we're going to have to work on her room. Now, I've been in your room and I didn't hear or see anything, so thank you for not having it happen when I was there. Vicki Lamond, teacher, Memorial Park Middle School, 30 years of service. Hi, Vicki. Vicki was always involved in art programs at Memorial Park Middle School by participating in the cabaret as one of the ladies in red.
Oh my gosh.
You have to tell us about that. She frequently, well, if it's clean,
I
you
don't
can tell.
remember
Okay,
that.
I was going to say. She frequently attended her students' activities such as plays, musicals, and Winterfest activities. She believed so fully in the program, she brought her own daughter from another county school, I won't say what it is, but it wasn't us, to come to Memorial Park. She will be most remembered for how much she enjoyed sharing her experiences, like her trip to Australia and the Great Barrier Reef, and her love of music and games. She always had a good story to tell.
Oh, my.
Thank you, Vicki.
Thank you. Oh, boy. Well, so much in middle school. One of the things, though, that I remember the most, thinking about it tonight, was we had a guidance counselor, Anita Nevels. Some of you know Anita. Well, I had received a gift from a family of a preserved coyote, a full-grown coyote, beautiful, beautiful. And my students knew that she would be a little squeamish. So they set it up on the table, and then we turned off the lights and called her in. And it was priceless to see her reaction. She still remembers it today. So, yeah, you can threaten her with it if yeah, so being in middle school and being around all of that life is just, it's wonderful. I did retire actually last year, and I've been subbing 3 days a week, so I still get to do it. You never stop. It's just wonderful. No matter where you are, you never stop being a teacher. So, thank you. I started in Fort Wayne Community Schools actually in 1963, I wanted you to know. Wow. From Holland and Northrop. So, I'm always here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, only middle school people would appreciate a full-grown stuffed preserved coyote. So that's an experience. Thank you, Vicki. Amy Luther, Special Ed Assistant, Northrop High School, 17 years of service. Amy started with Fort Wayne Community Schools as a one-to-one assistant to a blind student at Jefferson Middle School. When the student moved on to Northrop, she followed him and has been at Northrop ever since. She will be remembered for her kindness and commitment to everyone in Northrop. Her greatest contributions have been her patience and understanding when working with students, her willingness to help no matter the situation, and her true commitment and appreciation for the students and staff at Northrop. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, that student that we're talking about, he turned 27 today, and I still keep in touch with him. I went to Jefferson Middle School as an assistant, and somebody said, "Do you want to work a one-on-one?" And I said, "Explain it to me," and they were telling me that I had the blind student, and he had cerebral palsy. And I said, "Well, will somebody help me? Because I don't read Braille, and I had no idea what I was getting into." But it worked. I don't know, we just worked well together. He's a great kid. He's now 27, so he's a man. And he still calls me, and we go out to dinner once a year with the Braille teacher. When he graduated from Northrop, I stayed on. And basically, Northrop has been wonderful to me. So that's going to be hard to leave because they've been very good to me. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Subbing, Amy, subbing. He can come too. Okay, because I can, I've kind of inserted another person in the agenda because we had a person who was supposed to be here last year and was unable to come. And so she came as someone's date this evening. And so I kind of like I didn't have anything written, so I had to write a few notes. This is her novelette. Okay, so I'm not going to read all of it, but I think anybody that cares enough to want to come and wanted to make sure that all of us knew that she retired last year, I get to do this. So Joyce, come on up. Joyce McGriffin. The reason she's been at Harrison Hill 32 years, was at Harrison Hill. Okay, she started out as a two-hour assistant, went back to IPFW to get some work. Over the years, she has worked in second grade and third grade and first grade and 10 years in kindergarten. anyone who works in kindergarten deserves a medal. Did all sorts of things, and was always considered the right-hand person, not man, person, for any teacher she worked with. Reading groups, spelling, specials, it didn't matter. But overall, she had as she said, I'll let you tell it. Overall, she wants to share a couple of her experiences.
Oh, no, there was lots of experiences, and I just wanted to, I'm Cheryl's date because we've been best friends for how many years? I don't know, 30-some, but yeah, I missed mine last year, so I thought, oh yeah, I'll come and see, I see some people that I remember, but there's so, I don't know. I really miss, it's like my home away from home, Harrison Hill. So I still go over there, and, well, I haven't this last year because I was sick, but I'm always going over there and bugging the teachers that I worked with and that, but I don't know. There's just, I'm trying to think of some of them, my favorite. I love the field trips we went on. I'm trying to, at the end of the year, I love the 5th grade dances. I never worked with 5th graders, but I love the dances because they all dress up and show us some new footwork and all that. And they're so excited, they're so proud because they're getting out of Harrison Hill for one thing, but but I'm trying to think. Oh, and graduation day for the little kindergartners, Mrs. Lowry, she always had them wear these little caps. They made the caps and little gowns, and that was probably one of my favorites too. And the luncheons in the teachers' lounge, those are always fantastic. But I do miss I miss the kids, but having a year off, it's great. I still get up at 5 like I always do, and I always flip on the TV and say, no school today, or there's a 2-hour delay, but that's about it. So thank you so much. Thanks.
We people in education are sick people. We are. We're not working, we get up at 5. We turn on to see if school is canceled. That's why we're so good. Yeah, well, some of us in this room get up at 5 and we don't get to go back to bed. That's all right, but we're glad you came. Thank you so much. Ann Mendez, instructional coach, Wayne High School. This says 25.5. We're getting down to the half years here. All right. I also want to mention the fact that it's not here, but Ann is also one of our lead coaches in the district who helps us teach other teachers how to be coaches. So she has accepted quite a bit more work. That's not why she's retiring, because we worked her too hard, but in just 4 years, Ann has left her mark on Wayne High School. Her arrival was perfectly timed. Wayne was looking to improve instruction and create a focus and rigor around professional learning. Ann's impact on such initiatives as co-teaching, literacy, and protocol development to support PLCs, was professional learning community work, will continue to push Wayne to great success. She has always desired to work where she could find the greatest needs and challenges. She is tireless in her efforts to support each and every teacher. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my, the half a year came when I've actually been teaching for 37 years, and I started my career in Fort Wayne Community Schools, and I will end my career here, but I took a few detours along the way, and my husband got transferred back up here at the end of, or actually in 2010 when I was in Roanoke, Virginia, and so I followed a half a year later, and that's where the half year came in. But I started probably some of my fondest memories of my teaching career. There's so many with students, but at the end of the 1990s, beginning of 2000, I was a special ed teacher. That's what I have been. And we had a terrific special ed department at Northrop High School. And Karen, I think Karen and I are probably the only two remaining out of that group of, I think it was 13 teachers. And some of the fondest memories are the camaraderie with the group of teaching assistants and teachers, and what we did in school with collaboration and our friendship that continued outside of school. And those are really fond memories. And being an instructional coach, though, I just have been thrilled with this opportunity because it let me see a different side of education outside of the classroom. And I've always been excited about the initiatives that I've been able to work with the lead coaches and the other coaches in the district in learning the new learning agenda for Fort Wayne Community Schools and being a part of what's happening here in the planning and implementation. So I will miss that. I will miss the people that I've had the opportunity to work with and the students that I've had the opportunity to touch in 37 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. And in the group of instructional coaches, we have 5 lead teachers. And their work helping teachers be better teachers has inspired us. We're going to model their work with another group of teachers who work specifically with students. So one of the things I appreciate so much about Fort Wayne Community Schools is when we try to start an initiative, we always include the people who actually know what they're talking about and doing. And once we have a formula that works, almost always something that our teachers and our other folks bring us, we try to copy it. So I just want to thank you personally for all that work. I know how much you put into that. Donald Norton, science teacher, Northrop High School, 30 years of service. Don's dedication to the students of Northrop High School and the promotion of the sciences has been his greatest contribution to the school.
I just read the last liner. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't steal the punchline. I got to have something. He has always worked well with students who need a little extra time and attention. And I've been in his classroom, so I know what he does. He will be remembered at Northrop for his friendliness, sense of humor, willingness to help, and of course his, are you ready? Spot-on Elvis impersonations. I'm going to give this to you.
We're going to pass the hat.
I'm going to give this to you cautiously to let you come up to the mic.
Thank you. Fort Wayne Schools is wonderful. It's been a great experience from everybody that I've been associated with. Round of applause for Dr. Robinson.
Oh, wow.
She's been wonderful, wonderful superintendent. Let me give you credit. She's been wonderful. And her son was wonderful that I had in class a long time ago.
He had my Damon.
Yeah, I had Damon. Back when I was 10,
Yes, and I was 12.
And she was but just a great bunch of people. It's been wonderful. And had to bring up the Elvis impersonation, didn't you?
I didn't write that.
Okay. Funny, well, me and Amy Luther, we worked with that blind, it's the first blind student and the only one I've ever had. And we were up on stage, and we decorated his wheelchair, and we sang a Jingle Bell Rock, and put the microphone over to him to do his last Jingle Bell Rock. And I always remember that, because, thank you.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. It is amazing how much we do and how much we sacrifice for kids. And when I look around this room, I know you could write books and you just do things without even thinking of the fact that that's probably not a part of your job description, but if a child needed it, you just did it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Barbara Roberts, Title I District Pre-K coach. 21 years of service. Barb has been absolutely the key to the success of the early childhood programming in FWCS. You were around when we decided we were going to do full-day kindergarten in less than 8 weeks, weren't you? Her expertise, skills, and vast knowledge of early learning, development, and foundations are incomparable. She has been invited to present on pre-K best practices on numerous occasions at the local, state, and national levels. She is the resource of Title I pre-K programming and accreditation. Barb will be remembered for her unwavering dedication to pre-K. Her laser-sharp focus on doing what's best for our pre-K students is what has led Fort Wayne to a successful program that people regularly travel to observe. Her impact can be felt all over the district and beyond. Barb Roberts.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know where to start, but we teachers were never afraid of getting up in front of people, So I'm thankful for Fort Wayne Community Schools for giving me my second teaching career. I was in the non-public schools for 22 years and then decided I wanted to focus on early childhood. I was kindergarten, but I wanted to go earlier. And I was so fortunate to get the job at Adams School and to teach preschool there. And then Fort Wayne Community School is always a forerunner in what's best. Instead of taking teachers out of the classroom, we're going to bring you a personalized coaching. When I tell people I'm a coach, they go, volleyball? Soccer? No, teachers. And I learned so much from them. So it was just such a cool thing. And I get to see 500 some children and work with them along with working with the teachers. And the leadership, my direct, I don't know, she's my boss. I just feel like she's my friend, Kim Brooks. She's just amazing. And listening when I have the next idea and figuring out how we can do it. Just one more thing. I brought my mom tonight because I didn't realize until I got a master's in early childhood later on from Ball State, and I'm listening to the professors and so on, I went, oh my gosh, my mom taught me how to teach. And I have 7 younger siblings, and Mom had the dress-ups. She had the Lincoln Logs. She let us put a blanket on the fence so I could be Dale Evans. Yes. We had a sandbox, swimming pool. She let us help her, and every time she sat down to nurse the next baby, we knew it was time for her to read to us. So I just want to recognize my mom because I never realized that she was the model teacher until after I had been in teaching for like 20 years. So thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for bringing your mom. We appreciate that. She hugged me too at the door, so I'm really appreciative. Barb Smith, special ed, 30 years. Where's Barb? I know you're here. Oh, there you are. Come, I was going to say, I just talked to you. Come up here, please. For 26 of her 30 years with FWCS, Barb filled various roles at Southside High School in curriculum and human resources. Her last 4 years were spent as a special education clerk working with middle school students and families. She was committed to high quality, timely work and was knowledgeable of district protocol and procedures. She will be remembered for her compassion, hard work, her willingness to help, and her pleasant greetings will be dearly missed as she cuts through the cafeteria.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's very nice. Thanks. Who do I owe the $5 to?
I'm not telling. If you like it, I'm not telling.
Okay. I have a snake story, too. I was at secretary at Waynedale Elementary, subbing for Joni Corson, and they had Zoo Day. And the first person to bring in an animal was this big yellow, I'm going to call it an anaconda because I have no idea, snake around this man's neck. And I could see him coming in the windows. So I locked the office door. Then my husband will attest to this. I jumped on the art table in the art room and I said, I'm not coming out until you put that snake down. Now, how I thought I was going to be safer with the snake down.
I'm not sure. It's okay. I'm not sure.
I've made a lot of friends through Fort Wayne Community Schools, and I'm appreciative of all of them. And it seems like when I meet them now that I'm retired, or maybe they're retired, or maybe not, maybe they're still working, it's just kind of a family thing. You know, you kind of know where you've been the last years, and you have kind of a camaraderie. Additionally, I would like to say that my husband and I put our 4 children through Fort Wayne Community Schools. And from there, they went to Purdue University, go Boilers. And from the education that they received at Fort Wayne Community Schools and Purdue, we have 3 engineers and 1 pediatrician. And so I'm thankful for their years in Fort Wayne Community Schools.
And we're glad you had them in Fort Wayne Community Schools. You know, and Barb is an example of how a lot of people get connected to Fort Wayne. You put your kids in this district, and then we kind of recruit people. And then once your kids leave, you don't know any better, you just stay. And so we appreciate that, because what I have witnessed in my more years than I want to talk about in this district is people like Barb and people like all of you. You really are just committed to something, and we almost don't have to tell you anymore what to do. You think of things to do. So I really appreciate, and Barb and I used to speak when she was at Anthus all the time. I mean, Anthus, at Grile. Thank you so much. James Smith, bus driver, North Transportation, 30 years. And we all do wonderful jobs, but being a bus driver is a unique experience in anybody's school system. And if you've never been on a bus, try it sometimes, right, James? Jim was not only an experienced driver for 30 years, he was also a special needs bus trainer. He possesses the patience to train new hires in the art of driving a bus professionally while managing students at the same time. Jim has a pleasant spirit and calming demeanor. His passion was to make everyone feel special. He would go above and beyond to make sure people set goals for themselves and achieve those goals. He has a heart not just for working with kids, but for anyone who has a need. Thank you so much. Mike's yours. You have prepared comments?
This is what teachers tell me that they could not do.
Because that's your view, isn't it?
For 30 years, this is the view that my students had. And the reason I'm wearing this attire, I was an old farmer, school bus driver, professional school bus driver. I sold my farm and I moved to Tri-Lakes. So now this is my Laker attire. The one thing I don't miss is getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I do miss the dedication. And as I was telling Frank, on 2 different occasions since I moved to the lake, I live in a woods on top of a hill overlooking Little Cedar Lake. That when I came to work, I had to stop halfway down the lane because the wind had blown a tree over the lane and I couldn't get to work. But us bus drivers are dedicated. I got the chainsaw out of the back of my pickup and cut the log and moved it to a side, and I came to work. The same thing happened. The same thing happened today. As I was coming to this banquet, the wind had blown a tree across the lane, and I could have given up and went back home. But I'm so happy I came because look at all these young retirees. For a number of years, I was the oldest bus driver there was. I started out as part-time. A couple things that I have started that I hope someone will continue. On my 65th birthday, I started giving out roses to my fellow bus drivers and teachers and aides that were part of my route. I did the same thing on my, let's see, what comes after 65? 75. For my 75th birthday, I gave away 18 dozen long stem roses to my friends and bus drivers. I hope someone continues to do that. It was so much appreciated. You don't know how much a little thing means to someone until they finally confide in you. And there was a fellow bus driver, and she was relatively new. I gave her a beautiful yellow rose, and she started to cheer up, and she gave me a hug, and she whispered in my ear. She said, "You know, Jim, it's been 8 years since someone gave me a rose." Her husband had deceased 8 years ago, and how I touched her life was you can't measure those kind of things. So I hope someone continues that. Another thing I hope they continue that I started in 1986, so I'd get to know the names of all my kids. I had an inner city route that was a middle school, went to Jefferson. I had 3 stops, picked up 84 students, and drove as fast as I could to get to Jefferson Middle School. And then I realized shortly I learned the names of all the bad kids, but I didn't know the names of the good kids. So every day I would say hello, and I started the seating chart, and we're still using that seating chart today. And it helps all the bus drivers get to know their kids, because those are the most important people that we can transport. The kids are the ones I'm going to miss the most. I will also miss my supervisors and the teachers and the aides, and some of you were from Northrop. I drove for Northrop for a number of years. It was a wonderful ride for 30 years, and I really miss it.
Subs,
Thank you.
subs, subs. Thank you, James. Cheryl Zellers, Harrison Hill Elementary, 31 years. Cheryl has served as a classroom assistant with kindergarten, first grade, third grade, and fourth grade. You just kept getting promoted, didn't you?
1 year, fourth grade.
Yeah. Over the 31 years she's been at Harrison Hills, she is dedicated to making sure students are doing their best. Cheryl will be missed for her love and passion for the students. She always worked to bring the best out of students and loved them as if they were her own children. Thank you for that.
Thank you. And of course, I've been at Harrison Hill 31 years because it's the best school. Yeah. And the kids that get me the most are the ones that they're struggling, and that's always the ones that my heart goes to. And I was about ready to cry because part of me is going to miss it. So, thank you.
Subbing, subbing, sub. That concludes our recognitions for the evening. This is one of the events in the year that we look forward to because you never know what people are going to say. But if you listen to the thread, how many years have I been doing this? I can't even count. Every single year it's the same thread, where it's like family, friends, kids, dedication, commitment. Just people say it in different ways. But that's why we are still a great school district. It's because of people like you. It's because of people who care about what we do. And what I love about this place is every single one of you said something about kids. Whether you were a bus driver, a classroom assistant, or a secretary, it didn't matter. Because without them, we don't have a job. And because of them, we have given our lives to this district. So we don't give gold watches or Cadillacs. You know, we aren't able to do that. But we are forever grateful. And I know board members, I speak for board members when I say this. We rise and fall based upon you. And over the years, we have battled a lot of things together, and we still keep chugging along and doing great things because we hire well. And we have great people who absolutely give this district everything they have. So I appreciate tonight. I appreciate you being here. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. And be safe going home. Thank you so much.